What's up, Lucky Gamers? It's Lucky Lux. Alright, so I got Barcelona, Barcarola. I saw Barack Obama, Barometer. A lot of people are gonna get this name wrong. But we have her kit, 6-star star character. So let's go over her kit real quick. Insight: one-man orchestra. When allies consume Eureka, gain inspiration. Barcarola will cause inspiration to have a higher chance to be applied to attack incantations. When entering battle, receive inspiration. Self maximum Eureka increases, and at the start of the turn, Barcarola's Eureka increases. When allies actively use attack incantations, Barcarola's Eureka increases. I know there now like Flutter Page have seen where she's increased her max Eureka, and then Eureka seems to be a thing that they're doing quite a bit with characters, just like for them to just do extra actions, have Eureka. But some characters gain Eureka like so easily, it doesn't even seem like a problem. But let's keep going. Inspiration: when consuming Eureka, acquire inspiration. At the start of turn, randomly apply inspiration to normal incantations. When an incantation with inspiration enters the incantation queue, add improvised incantation at the end, and the inspiration carried by the normal incantation will be transferred to the improvised incantation. Okay, so it just turns incantations into improvised incantations once you play them and they have inspiration on them. Okay. Improvised incantation: single mental damage to one random enemy. This attack will deal extra mental damage based on the number of inspiration. Are they just giving characters that go with Windsong? Anyways, I'm sorry. Anyways. I2, when entering battle, increase attack. I3, at the start of turn, increase damage dealt based on the number of inspiration. Improvised incantation is now Star of Flatus. Okay, so it turns your card into a Star of Flatus card? Interesting. And its crit rate and crit damage will increase as the number of attacks increase. So she can increase your crit rate and crit damage for your improvised incantations and turn it into star damage. So this is the first character that can turn someone else's damage into another. At least for the improvised incantations, it's pretty interesting, I guess. S1, the legato of arpeggios. Single mental damage. After attacking, consume Eureka and increase the number of attacks by improvised incantation for this round. When the number of allies in quartet reaches a certain amount, further increase the number of attacks by improvised incantation. Number of attacks by... Okay, this isn't... Okay, so after attacking, consume Eureka and increase the number of attacks by improvised incantations for this round. Okay, so this can hit multiple times. And when the number of allies in quartet reaches a certain amount, further increase... Okay, so we don't know what quartet does yet. Further increase the number of attacks by improvised incantation. S2, pouring of thought. Single mental damage. After attacking, consume Eureka and increase damage dealt by the improved incantations for this round. Okay, so she's a damage dealt buffer, and then also can do multiple attacks. And with that improved incantation, she can increase the crit rate and crit damage, and then also applies extra damage to that incantation. When the number of allies in quartet reaches a certain amount, further increase the damage dealt by improvising. Okay, so quartet is a buff that she puts us in, I'm guessing, for the ult. So Symphony of the Sea Breeze, single buff, extends the duration of quartet of all allies. Makes the target enter quartet with self. If self is already in quartet, extend the duration. Okay, so you can just keep doing it to extend it. Afterwards, recover all Eureka of allies with quartet. Wow. They just really don't like Ezra, because like Ezra was able to like give Eureka, and then here they are is like, oh well, here's a character who can give all Eureka with all, like Ezra, like bro, if Ezra, I think Ezra's getting a buff soon. If he wasn't one popped up, but he's gotta be. Like, ain't no way they just, you already nerf Ezra by putting out Kakanya being a better tank, and then you said, oh, we'll put out a better shielder with the new Babel buff. Now you have a better Eureka generator. Like, bro, Ezra, like, can't catch a break. This is crazy. Self Moxie increases and apply further inspiration to the improvised incantation for this round. Quartet attack increases, further increases attack based on number of inspiration. Afterwards, each ally in Quartet increases the effect of the attack increase by Barcarola. When using attack incantations, consume all Eureka of allies with Quartet and apply further inspiration to the improvised incantation for this round. Now, when she consumes the Eureka, for somebody like 37, does she just like take it away? Or like her flutter page, like, is it just gone? Like, I wonder what's happening there, but we'll have to wait and see. Okay, so thoughts. My first thoughts. Being that Windsong is a Eureka character. I mean, so is Flutter Page, so is 37, so is Gutian, Ezra, right? But you know, Windsong consumes Eureka. I don't even know why they gave it to her. So when I see a character that is Barcarola that like changes the incantations, when Windsong is all about improving her incantations, giving her crit rate, crit damage on those incantations, which improves that even more. Like, thankfully, in a way, Windsong's team is already complete, and then like they're just keep now with Flutter Page, like it's like the Windsong users are just like, wow, this is the new 37. Every character that's coming out pretty much is improving 37 because like, I mean, improving Windsong, because like anything that has to do with the incantations, buffing them, anything like that, like really helps her. But thankfully there's like newer characters like Flutter Page, who's really, really good, and then newer characters who can use this Eureka. They can really benefit from it. Her being an attack buffer for all allies is really good because Kakanya was really the only one, and she did it to one person. And for Kakanya, like just for like general content, Barcarola seems to have a better attack buff, because like Kakanya's attack buff, you really want it to be in content where you're taking a bunch of damage and you can really utilize it, especially I'm talking like P0, depending on how high this attack buff is. I'm assuming it's going to be more than the 300 base that Kakanya has, but it's still for the whole team. With it being an attack buff, in terms of Poison Team, that's really helpful because Poison Team loves attack buffs. The only thing is that they don't use Eureka. So depending on how high the attack buff is, she could possibly be on a Poison Team, but probably not. I see Windsong using her 37 Flutter Page, benefiting from it. I mean, they're all mental damage. Some people in my Discord were saying healer, but I don't know where they were getting that from. She's a buffer. She seems to be an attack buffer and an incantation buffer, obviously. Gives a little crit rate, crit damage dealt, does a lot. We don't know the values, obviously. We'll find that out closer to her release. But I don't know how to think about this, because like we're getting to the point where there's like they're putting out really good supports, and we already have so many supports that it's like it's getting harder and harder to like judge these support characters, because it's like, well, like, I mean, I guess it's because we're making specific teams for like characters now, where it's like, okay, where we can have like this buffer put on this team, this buffer on the other. But you know, like obviously for free to plays and stuff like that, they're really wanting just only a couple characters that can just help out the whole account. So not really sure how far Barcarola goes. Like she doesn't she doesn't seem like she would be the best pairing with Lucy, but probably can pair with Lucy. Doesn't seem like she's the best pairing with Andronala, but probably can go with Andronala. And I'm just only saying because she specifically does something for Eureka that you would want her to go with Eureka characters. And I'm talking about in the ult, where she recovers all Eureka of allies with Quartet. And that could help a lot of the Eureka characters. But you know, we've used characters before that do something that doesn't really benefit the other characters on the team, as long as the DPS character is broken enough, right? So we'll have to see where she fits. I'm pretty sure the Quartet buff and the inspiration is going to be something that's carried in the portraits, because this is another character similar to Mercuria, where the whole kit revolves around a specific like stack or buff. Same thing with like Flutter Page. We're putting a lot of these characters out, so I'm pretty sure like maximum amount of inspiration is probably going to be in the portraits. The Quartet buff itself is going to be buffed in the portraits. Pretty sure that crit rate, crit damage in the I3 is going to be upped by portraits. Yeah, you know how it goes, guys. But anyways, let me know what you think about her kit. I think it's interesting, but I don't think it's interesting enough for people right before a limited. I just thought about that. I don't think it's interesting enough right before a limited, because 2.2 was a limited. If we're doing every 3 patches a limited character, 2.5 is going to have one. Now, of course, if the new limited character has Eureka, then hey, Eureka, it's a match. But we don't know that yet. I guess Global will know, but not CN, because, you know, right there. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about her. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Join the Discord. Yeah. Anyways, peace.